Hi guys, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to another speed build. So today we're building a daycare with the new items from the toddler stuff pack, and I know it's probably been about a week I think since the stuff pack came out, and I'm only just releasing this video now, but I have had it done for a couple of days. I just needed to add the voiceover in. As you guys probably already know, I always mention in some of my videos that the editing is my least favorite part of making videos, but you know, I've just been thinking recently whether it's the editing or if it's the voiceovers itself, because I've mentioned in another one of my videos or on Twitter or something that usually when I do voiceovers I have to be in a relatively good mood, and not saying that I'm not always in a good mood, but like, I don't know, I just have to feel like wanting to talk, which is really odd for me to say because I am probably one of the most talkative people, person. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think it does. But I'm one of the most talkative people that you'd probably come across. I get told off at work, maybe not where I'm working now, but in my old store, because as you guys know, I work at KFC and I previously worked in another KFC store, and in my old store I always used to get told off for talking so much, and my managers always got so annoyed at me, which actually I'll tell you a little bit more later before I finish talking about the build, because there are a couple of stories relating to that whole talkative thing which I've just thought of, which I want to share with you guys, so I will bring that up later. Let me just actually write that down, because for the first time I have actually written down a bunch of notes of things to say, because I did try to do this voiceover yesterday, but I was just having difficulty trying to think of things to say. Like I was just saying just before, I'd have to be in a good mood, and that sort of means like I have to want to be able to talk, and I don't know, I just wasn't in one of those moods yesterday, which is really weird because I woke up in the morning all ready to, you know, accomplish lots of videos and everything like that, and I don't know, I couldn't do the voiceover. I struggled, probably like got 10 minutes in and my mind went completely blank, and I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna last the entire half hour trying to do this, but yeah, we'll try anyway. But anyway, so back to, I always go off topic, so back to the build. It is a daycare, it's a pretty large daycare, and because of that I had a lot of difficulty building it, because I know that daycares are often like very open space, because you know, as a supervisor at a daycare you want to have your eyes on the kids wherever they are, so they're usually large, you know, open space kind of areas, but the center itself is sort of on the smaller side, I guess, so that it's easier to keep a track where all the kids are, but this one is quite big. So yeah, I did have a little bit difficulty with the layout just because I wanted to kind of implement the fact that these supervisors, or the sim supervisors, will still need to be able to see the children. So that was, I guess, one of my struggles when it came to this build, but we did overcome it, which is, you know, good. I did actually cut it out to cut out the layout, because as you can see, like what I'm doing right now is pretty much the shell of the building, and I realized it was too small because I realized I needed a nap room, I needed a kitchen, a bathroom, a playroom, an office, and I just realized the space that I had built was too small. I mean, realistically everything probably could have fit, it's just the way I wanted to make it, like I don't think it would have fit. So yeah, but anyway, so there's also some CC in this item, or not this item, this build as well. I'm pretty sure the only CC I use though are windows and doors. I mean, I don't know why I use the windows and doors, because there are windows and doors in the game that look very similar to the CC I use. So if you guys do decide to download this, sorry, it is on the gallery, but if you decide to download this, then you will have to like replace the doors and the windows. If I'm being completely honest, I actually don't even know if people ever download the builds that I put on the gallery, because I don't exactly check the gallery often, only when I'm looking at, you know, friends builds and like other simmers and stuff like that. That's the only time I really check the gallery. Other than that, I don't visit it much, not even to check if anybody's downloaded my builds or anything. And sorry if you guys can hear my chair squeaking in the background. I don't know if the mic picks that up, but I have a fold out chair because I have not bought myself a proper chair yet. I was actually speaking to my friend on the phone today. I'm not sure if it was today actually or yesterday, but he was telling me that I should actually get myself a proper gaming chair, and I had to disagree because if any of you guys like know me really well, I'm not too sure how well some of you guys know me. I know there are a few of you guys that have gotten to know me well, but for those who do know me relatively well, I'm very picky when it comes to like I guess interior. And for me, I don't like anything going in a space that doesn't suit or doesn't look good. So I feel like if I was to purchase myself a proper gaming chair, despite it being really good for you and comfortable, I'm guessing they're comfortable. They have to be comfortable for the amount you pay for those. But yeah, if I were to have one of those chairs, it just would not go with anything else in my room. So I often choose looks over practicality, which is kind of funny because I'm pretty sure that's probably a girl thing. I feel like it's more of a boy thing to choose practicality over the looks. I don't know if that's true or not, that's just my opinion on that. But yeah, anyway, so moving on to what's inside the build itself. So we have like I mentioned before, a nap room which has about 3 beds in it, and the colours I chose in there were more of a calming colours because I will say that this build on the inside is very, very, very colourful, maybe a little too colourful for some people's liking, but you know, it's a children's build, it's supposed to be colourful, it makes kids happy. I think colours make kids happy, so that's why it's very colourful. But the bedroom, despite it still having a little bit of colour, it's a lot more toned down because, you know, you don't want anything crazy and out there because kids aren't really going to sleep that well if it's really bright and fun. I don't know, it's just going to get them excited, so that's why that's darker. I mean, realistically, when you're playing The Sims, it doesn't really matter what colour things are, it doesn't change the way your Sims feel or anything like that. But if this was a real life situation, there is like a whole like psychological thing behind what colours make you feel and things like that. So that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of like the realistic psychological side of things because I did actually, when I was in high school, I took a early childhood class which involved me having to learn a lot about, you know, what helps kids' brains develop and what, you know, what kind of things you need to do for kids and things like that. So like those color things that I was talking about, the psychological color things, we learned about that kind of stuff as well. And I mean that's just common sense anyway. You always learn it throughout high school and probably just like in general that colors do affect your moods and things like that. So yeah, yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that I did early childhood when I was in high school because I'm pretty sure I've never mentioned it. I actually had to do a work placement in a kindergarten, and it was really cool because I got to go back to my old kindergarten. And it's funny because I have a very, very good long-term memory, so I remember a lot of things from when I was younger, but I have a terrible short-term memory. So it was really cool being able to go back to my old kindergarten and seeing everything because there were things that I remember, like the playground. I think the playground was the same. I feel like it was. Like the sandpit was in the same place. They had the same sort of setup outside, and they had the dress up area. I remember the dress up area because I used to spend a lot of time there. They had the dress up area in the exact same spot, and you know, the mat area for where they have like the teacher reading books to you and stuff like that. Everything was like the same, and it's crazy that I remember this because I was 3 or 4 and I had, you know, I had a vague memory. Like, it was vague, but I do remember the basic setups, which is really, really cool considering I was 3 or 4 when that happened. And saying that though, I did actually live overseas in Cook Islands when I was 6 years old, and I went back in 2014, and it had been, how many years is that between? That's like 8 years from the last time I had visited. And before I arrived in Cook Islands, I sort of drew down, you know, a little picture of the roads and said, okay, this is there, our house was off this street, the school was off this street, there was another street this way, and I was actually very, very close. I wasn't accurate, I will say I wasn't exactly accurate, but I was very close to getting, you know, the little layout of the little parts that I do remember of the island spot on, which was really cool. And I am actually planning a trip to go back there I was going to plan to go back in Christmas this year, but I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it because there are some things I want to buy before going over there. Like, I know that sounds a little bit like terrible, like prioritizing what's more important, but it's because I want to be able to take these things over with me. I think I've already mentioned to you guys, but I do want to purchase a camera, and that is quite expensive. It's about $949 at the place I'm looking at. I have actually recently come across another store though that does it for almost 200, I think, just short of 200 cheaper. So I'm like, okay, scratch JB Hi-Fi, we're gonna go to this other place. So hopefully that is actually a lot cheaper there. Although JB Hi-Fi does do, what do you call it? Negotiating. So if I went to JB Hi-Fi, I could probably negotiate the price down. But I'm not too sure how low I would get it, whether or not I could get it down to the same price as the other store selling the camera. I don't know. So I might just, it might just be the safe bet to go to the other store. Oops, I just dropped a pencil. So I do want to buy a camera first so that I can take that over with me when I go traveling and video some, take some footage for you guys of what the island looks like. I think you guys will really enjoy it because if I'm being completely honest, when I was a kid, I was only 6 when I was living there, I did not appreciate the island. To me, it was just hot, and there was there were things to do since I was a kid, but there wasn't, there were no playgrounds and things like that. You had to use your imagination, which growing up in a place where you've got playgrounds and you've got swimming pools and things like that, it's kind of like, it's easier to not have to use your imagination when you're playing, as opposed to living in a place that doesn't have anything like that and you've got to use your entire imagination. I don't know, it was just, I just didn't appreciate it when I was a kid. I really wanted to come back to New Zealand, even though I'm not in New Zealand anymore, but I really wanted to go back to New Zealand. And now I'm just like, it's a really nice place in Cook Islands, very nice for a holiday destination. I will admit though, I don't think I would ever live there again, even though it is like my second home because I am from there as well. I just don't think I could live there again because there are so many things that, in my opinion, aren't accessible. Like simple things that are, that are easily accessible in places like Australia, New Zealand, just all around the world. Basically things that are very simple to access are very difficult to access over there. And I just don't want that struggle. I like everything being accessible to me. So I don't think I could ever live there again, but definitely want to go back for a holiday and want to take a camera so that I can bring you guys with me. I mean, technically you guys won't be able to come, but you get what I mean. So yeah, I hope this footage isn't too fast for you guys. I did speed it up about 7 times the speed just because 6, I usually aim for 5, and if that's too slow I'll go to 6, and usually I'll stop at 6, but depending if the video is very, very long, I'll speed it up a little bit more to 7 so that it, it fits. I mean, this video is about 29 to 30 minutes long. I mean, there's not much difference in between. It actually says 29:36:05, so that's what, 23.5 seconds difference, I think. So yeah, anyway, so I was actually saying earlier that yesterday I had woken up and I was ready to record and get some videos done, and then when it came to the voiceover I really struggled and I couldn't do it. So today I did the same thing. I woke up, was all prepared to get into it, and the reason why is actually because of Spring Sims. He posted a tweet yesterday on Twitter mentioning that he had recorded 6 videos, edited and uploaded them, and they were all scheduled. And I was like, how do you do that? How does somebody manage to get so much work in one day? I'm like, that is commitment, that's motivation and everything like that. So I wanted my day to be like Spring Sims was yesterday. And I will say, I haven't exactly gotten up to his level of expertise, or not expertise, but I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I haven't exactly gotten as much done as him, but I did get quite a few done compared to what I would usually get done. Usually I'm lucky if I get a video edited and recorded all in one day. Usually it takes me like one whole day to record, just because I get like a lot of builder's blocks, so I can't really jump straight into another build or something like that. But today I managed to get another build done and recorded, and I've already edited it. I just need to add the voiceover, and I got a Create a Sim video recorded and edited as well that's waiting for a voiceover, because I now do voiceovers on CAS, because I noticed people like the voiceovers on CAS. I never used to do them, but since people are enjoying them, I'm going to continue doing them. They're kind of fun as well. And did I only get 2 videos done? I think I did, but I'm also finally doing this voiceover for this video here, because it is actually now 8:36 p.m. in the afternoon. I decided to get all the recording done in the daytime instead. I probably could have had a little bit more time to do another video, but I did also spend a portion of my day just kind of tidying up around the house, tidying my room, and also making pizza for lunch. Well, I say lunch, but it was at like 4:30 that I actually ate, because I also made myself breakfast, and usually when I make myself breakfast it lasts me, you know, through the whole day, because I don't usually eat breakfast. I usually only eat lunch because I go to work and everything in the morning. So I think if I have breakfast in the morning, I do tend to last longer throughout the day. So it wasn't until around 4:30 that I was getting hungry, so I decided to make myself some pizza. I made the dough myself and I put all the toppings on, and it was actually a nice pizza, considering that, you know, the toppings were sort of sparse because we didn't have much. Like, we didn't have any tomato paste or anything like that, so I used tomato sauce or ketchup for you guys in the States. And we didn't have much cheese, so I was kind of being a little bit of a Scrooge on the cheese, just not adding as much as I usually would. It still turned out nice though. I found some sour cream in the fridge, so I chucked that on there, chucked some bacon on there, some pineapple, and I also put some broccoli. Now, I've never actually put broccoli on pizza before, but a while back, maybe like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, I actually saw a Snapchat that Zistel had posted, and she was making homemade pizza, and she was putting broccoli on the pizza, and let me just say, those pizzas, I still remember what they look like. They looked absolutely delicious. Like, I wanted to eat that pizza. I was like, oh my gosh, like, if she could, I would have asked her to send me some, but I don't think that's possible. But yeah, she put broccoli on her pizza, and that's the first time I've ever seen somebody put broccoli on their pizza. I was like, oh, okay, broccoli, alright. But like, it would never occur to me to put broccoli on pizza. And it's funny because the same night I watched that movie, that children's movie called Inside Out. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I feel like a lot of you guys would have seen it because it's not that old and it was a good movie. So I was watching Inside Out, and there's a scene where the little people inside Riley's brain is like, ooh, there's broccoli on the pizza. Who the hell puts broccoli on pizza? And I said, I told my brother, and he's like, yeah, who does put broccoli on pizza? And it just made me laugh because as soon as I saw that scene, I just thought of Zistel because she put the broccoli on the pizza. And today there was broccoli in the freezer, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this broccoli deal and I'm going to put it on the pizza. And my brother was complaining a little bit because he does not like vegetables at all. So the broccoli went on half the pizza only, my half only, but it was nice. I did like it with the broccoli. And what else did I put on my pizza? I think that's about it. I think that's all I put on it. I did actually put some sriracha, I don't know if it's called sriracha sauce or sriracha sauce. It is so hard to say that word, but I put some of that on one slice of my pizza because I decided I preferred it without. And yeah, I don't know, it was just good pizza all in all. And the dough I made, actually, there's still enough for a second pizza. I only made one, there's still some dough left, and I actually just went out into the kitchen probably about 20 minutes ago, just before I started this voiceover, and I have the dough, like the leftover dough, wrapped up in Glad wrap, and it's a yeast dough, so it's slowly been rising, and it's really funny because the Glad wrap is literally like a balloon now. It's just so puffed up, and I feel like it's gonna pop. I want to like poke a hole in it, but I'm not sure if that'll like dry the dough out, because I'm thinking of saving the dough for tomorrow so I can make a pizza before I go to work and then take some slices to work, because I don't start till 11, and knowing me, I'll probably wake up at around 9, or I could wake up a little bit earlier so I could make the pizza, I think, because I don't know how long it takes, like maybe 40 minutes to cook the pizza, plus another 10 I'd say to prepare it. And I like to take my time when I get ready in the morning, so maybe I'll, yeah, I don't know, maybe up at 8, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so we still have another 9 minutes, although provided I think that 2 of those minutes are full of screenshots, because this build does have so many screenshots. I will actually say this, like the outdoor area of the daycare is actually probably my favorite part of the daycare. I don't know, I really like it. I wanted it to be very engaging and have lots of things for the kids to do. So we've got, the sandpit, or the fake sandpit. Actually, I'm a little bit disappointed that this toddler stuff pack didn't come with the sandpit. I actually thought it would, but maybe, possibly, perhaps they might bring that in another time, because I feel like it's something that, you'd think they would have it in The Sims. I'm just kind of sad that they didn't put it in this toddler stuff pack, but I made my own sandpit anyway using those awesome new sails, because those sails are actually awesome. And we have our large playground with the ball pit, and then we've got like a little picnic area. I figured that little area could be like a teddy bear picnic, because I remember when I was in kindergarten, we used to have teddy bear picnics, and we could bring our bears, and they would set up little picnic mats, I suppose, outside on the grass. And I remember we had like fairy bread and all those little snacks, and we had 100,000 cookies. Now I don't know if you guys have these in the States and UK, but here in New Zealand and Australia we have this little cookie, and there's actually like I cannot actually remember the brand of it in New Zealand. It's been that long since I've had them from New Zealand, but the ones from New Zealand are the best. Like, sorry Australia, but the New Zealand ones taste way better. But yeah, it's like a cookie with this pink icing on it, and it's just got hundreds and thousands on it. And I still really, really like those cookies. And we had animal cookies as well, which they don't have here in Australia, but we do in New Zealand. I think they're just called iced animals. And they're just like, they've got like different colors, like blue, yellow, pink, orange. Like, ask anybody my age, they will know exactly what they are. Like, if Zoe watches this video, I don't know if she will, but Zoe from 8 Cups of Tea, I'm sure she knows what these iced animal cookies are and can probably agree, like hopefully she agrees that they're very tasty, because they are, which is really funny. I think it's more of the nostalgia of the fact that they were like the thing you always ate when you were a kid, rather than the taste, because they're probably just regular cookies to people, from around the world, but to majority of Kiwis my age, they're like a really, really good cookie, because we always had them as children. I actually am having like major flashbacks now because of these cookies and this fairy bread. I don't actually know. Actually, I have no idea if you guys know what fairy bread is. I've just realized I have no idea if you guys know. Fairy bread is basically, usually it's white bread. You could use wheatmeal, but I'm pretty sure kids are not gonna like wheatmeal or multigrain or anything. So it's usually on white bread, and you butter it, and then you just put sprinkles on it, and there you have fairy bread. You give it to the kid and they enjoy it. It's pretty much a sandwich with butter and sugar balls in it, because that's what hundreds and thousands are, really, just colored little sugar granules. But it's a big hit with the kids. We used to have them all the time when we'd have like little discos as well. When I was in, I can't believe how much I'm remembering right now of kindergarten. We used to have little discos, and we'd have like little red Cheerio sausages with tomato sauce, fairy breads, those iced animals, and 100,000 cookies. We'd also have Shrewsbury cookies, which are also another cookie in New Zealand, which Australia has as well, although there's, again, I'm sorry, but New Zealand's taste better. They have like these little cookies, and they have like a jam jelly filling. It's not exactly jam because I hate jam. I absolutely hate jam, but I love shrewsberries. So it's definitely not jam. It's some sort of jelly. It's really hard to explain, but it's absolutely delicious. And they have like little, in the top of the cookie, they've got little cutouts. So one will have a heart, one will have a circle, one will have a star. I think there's a triangle, I could be wrong, but they just have all these little different shapes, and now I really badly want them. So who knows, after this I might actually go online and order some, or I might just ask somebody if they can send me some for my birthday, like my sister or something. Like, hey, can you send me this? She probably could actually, but I'd probably be the one paying for them most likely, but that's okay. They're only like $2 or something like that. But yeah, anyway, so moving on to the story of me being talkative at KFC. I had to look at my little notes here just to remember what I've written down. This has actually proved to be very helpful. I know that there are other people who write down notes of what they need to remember and things like that, and I never really do it. I usually just talk off of the top of my head, but it's actually very helpful when when you've exhausted everything you're talking about and everything like that. You need something new. It's like, oh wait, I've got this written down. So talkative at KFC. I was very talkative. I had a couple of experiences or moments that I remember very well. I'm going to list about 3 because they are the ones that stick out to me. So one day, my manager, he was getting usually he's very calm and he doesn't really get annoyed, but he was getting very annoyed and very frustrated with the amount of chatter that was coming from my mouth because I was talking so much. And this was probably when I was about 17, 18 in high school still. And he asked me if I could just be quiet just for the rest of the night, like just don't talk. And I was like, really? What? And one of my workmates, she said, Caitlin can't do that. She's incapable of being quiet. And they're like, I bet she can't keep quiet. So I took her up on that challenge and I said, okay, you know what? Because I think it was about 7:30 and I finish work at 9. So I said, you know what? I will go the rest of the shift. Not a single peep will come from my mouth. I won't talk. And if I do, then I have proved you wrong, because I was given a lot of cleaning jobs that night rather than actually serving customers. So it wasn't necessary for me to speak that much. So I was like, I won't speak for the rest of the evening. And it was really funny because I had some of my workmates complaining because they were like, to my manager, they're like, can you like let her talk, because we're getting bored, nobody's talking, nobody's making things fun, and can you just let her talk? And he's like, no, it's okay, because he was enjoying the peace and quiet. He was enjoying it. So I'm like, enjoy it while it lasts. It's not gonna last that long. But I am happy to say I made it through the entire shift without talking. As soon as the clock hit 9, I opened my mouth. I was like, well, I'm done. Okay, see you guys. I'm going home. And they're like, oh, great. Now she talks. And yeah, we're actually in the screenshot now, which means I don't have enough time to tell you guys the other stories, which is really, really sad. Not really, but maybe you'll hear them down the track in another video. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this little daycare. Hopefully as well, if you decide to download it, your little toddlers will enjoy it as well. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!